Hello family, hello friends, hello GOLA clan, welcome back to yet another 360 review, and today we are reviewing none other than King Thandiswa Mazwai and her latest album titled Sankofa. Let's get into it.
Don't worry about, do not receive that, guys. That many you remember
So let's get into it. Let's get into the review of Thandiswa Mazwai's latest album titled Sankofa. So what does Sankofa mean? It means to go back and get. So my interpretation of that means for the African, right? What does it mean to go back and fetch what was lost, you know? Through colonization, through apartheid, through many forms of oppression, a lot of our identity has been lost and a lot of who we are has been lost. And that takes in the form of, you know, land, it takes in the form of our traditions and cultures, it takes in the form of various other, you know, forms of identity that, you know, that link us to who we are and those who have come before us. So that's what I get from the title itself. But I think that the album itself ties, you know, tells the story rather in a way that you're able to understand by what she means in the album. So I'm gonna highlight a few of my favorite songs on the album. The album holistically is amazing. It's a timeless piece. It really reflects the time that we're living in. You know, currently it's just post-elections in South Africa as I'm reviewing this album, and it's so, I guess, relevant, right? It would have been relevant in 94, I think, and would have been relevant now, you know, post 94, 30 years post 94, and as we reflect on a country. What have we achieved? What are our failures? And what do we want for ourselves moving forward? That's what I get from this album. And it's a deeply personal album from what I'm getting from it. And it also reflects, you know, the time and the season that we're living in South Africa as Africans or as Africans in the diaspora. And so for me, it really begs us to really think about what do we want for ourselves in the future. You know, we've had the 30 years of democracy, you know, now what? You know, it's almost like a call for us, or call for the next generation of leaders to show up. So let's go to the first song that I love, and I think it's the first track on the album, titled Sabela. So Sabela speaks about your calling, your gift, your purpose on this earth. So it highlights, the philosophy that everybody on this earth has a purpose and everybody has a gift and they've been called to fulfill it. And as I've highlighted earlier in the video, it touches on the idea of the next generation of leaders coming up. It's almost like she's making a call for the next generation of leaders to show up, because the leaders that we have today are not necessarily representing the interests of the people. We've had many issues in South African government, private sector as well. A lot of scandals and corruption has happened, and so she really speaks to the youth in the song, I think, and also those people who haven't really explored themselves fully and gone into discovering who they are and who they ought to be on this earth. So yeah, I think for me it covers the personal objective. Who are you and where are you going and why are you called? And what are you called for? Or what are you called to do? And then the political objective of it that I'm getting is that who are the next generation of leaders? And the next generation of leaders, it's your time to rise up and show up. So that's what I get from the first song titled Sabela. And then Kunzima, the dark side of the rainbow. I think she touches on, South Africa's initial branding campaign of the Rainbow Nation. And she highlights, I guess, the aftermath of that particular brand campaign, In my opinion, I think she highlights the concerns of South Africans, right? Post 94, post all the things that have happened since, and how the Rainbow Nation, in my opinion, was sort of created to lull, to sleep the concerns of the South Africans, And a lot of our issues have either gotten worse or they haven't been resolved, right? And it really speaks about how this brand campaign was created, and it was meant to sort of be like a band-aid on all the things that have happened previously, almost like ignoring or trying to put away the injustices that have happened to a lot of people, right? And so I think it's a call to address the injustices that have happened previously and that are currently still happening, And it forces us to reflect, again, like I've highlighted, what have we really achieved? And what is the goal? What do we truly want? What is, restoration or reparations look like? Currently in South Africa, we're looking at high unemployment rate. We're looking at corruption in the private sector, in the government sector. We're looking at, high poverty levels. The quality of education hasn't been up to par, and so many issues. I mean, I could go on. Gender-based violence, so many things, right? And it really calls us to reflect on who we are post the brand campaign, the Rainbow Nation. I call it a brand campaign because that's what I think it was. It wasn't there to really drive active change of restoration and, getting things back or getting things to a point where there's justice, there's equality for the people, and also taking into account a lot of people lost a lot of things and a lot of people during that time, and currently still suffering from the consequences of the past and the decisions of the past and the decisions of the people of the past. So yeah, that's Kunzima, the dark side of the rainbow. And then the next song that I really enjoyed was Kulungile, where she reconciles her childhood traumas or childhood experiences. I love this song because, a lot of us need to go back and heal our inner child. A lot of us haven't had perfect childhoods or perfect upbringings, right? And for me, it's such a soothing song. It really just highlights the importance of us taking the time to heal ourselves, to learn about ourselves, and really unpack those things that have happened to us and heal from those things so that they don't affect the next generation, they don't affect our relationships, they don't affect maybe if we have children or decide to have children, it doesn't affect them, right? Breaking down those generational traumas, or in religious terms, I'll call them generational curses or whatnot. But, those generational traumas that we really need to unpack and really deal with so that we can become the best versions of ourselves. It's a personal call for healing. And then from a political perspective, I see it as a form of reconciliation of our past. Our past as South Africans and as Africans hasn't been, positive, and it's also how I see it, a message and a call for us to find some sort of healing and some sort of, some sort of healing from the past, even if the things that have happened to us were bad, how do we reconcile that? And I don't think there's an answer to that. I think it's such a layered concept and a layered topic. If you want us to really go into it on this channel, let me know and I will consider it, right? Just let me know in the comments and I'll definitely consider. So that's Kulungile. And my favorite song on the album is titled Children of the Soil. I just love the song. When I heard it first on NPR Tiny Desk, I was like, wow, this is a beautiful song. I love the messaging behind the song. I love the rhythm, the beat. I think the music is so universal, it's so timeless, but it has these African roots that you can't ignore. It's just beautiful. And it also speaks to, the generation of today. I almost think about, the tagline or the brand, Africa, your time is now. It speaks to, it's time for freedom. It speaks to, that it's time for us to realize that our dreams as Africans, as the youth, as South Africans. And it touches on, in my opinion, the liberation of the mind, and what does that mean? And also thinking about what does freedom look like for us, as the African, as I've highlighted, there's the liberation of the mind, there's political freedom, there's freedom of expression. But I think the biggest topic on the table for a lot of us is economic freedom. How do we attain that? And how long? How long does it take, or how long does one need to wait to get to a point where there's justice, there's equality, So yeah, I love the song Children of the Soil. It's almost like the call of Sabela, in the beginning, like you are called and it's time for you to rise up. Like the album ties, like each song ties to each one. It's almost like she's telling a story. And by the end of the album, you've listened and you've heard the full story and the full message. So I do encourage you to go listen to the album. If she comes to your city or your town, definitely go watch the show. It is worth it. I got the opportunity to go to the album launch and it was amazing. I mean, as I've shown you in the clips before or after, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it in this video, but I will say that it was something worth experiencing. And I always say that let's celebrate our talent, our leaders, our people who are actually doing good in the world, people who have a message, people who are talented while they're still here. Let's celebrate those we love. Yeah, even it doesn't have to be a celebrity or a musician or, just those people that we love. Let's celebrate them while we're here and acknowledge the work that they have done, right? And so that's what I get from from this album. I think it's 20 years post Zabalaza. I could be correct. I could be incorrect, but I think it is 20 years post Zabalaza based on an interview that I watched. And wow, what a body of work. And it really is a reflection of the time. And I'm excited for what is to come for her. And yeah. Oh yeah, just before we close, I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I'm so grateful, and those who still subscribed and stuck with me, I'm so grateful. We are over 200 now, and I'm hoping to grow up to 300, even more. And yeah, let's grow the family, let's grow the GOLA clan, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
GOLA, GOLA.